Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is huge. This will be the basis of indictments, prosecution, and potential prison time for a number of people, including the Honorable James Comey, the former Federal Bureau of Investigation director. This is huge, and hit subscribe. Months after probing Clinton server scandal, Comey's FBI had its own private email issue. John Solomon broke this story. Catherine Herridge as well. There are a number of journalists. This is breathtaking, groundbreaking. Let's get to it. You'll hear Comey in a second possibly allude to the actual leaks that he was a part of. We also have Andrew McCabe as part of this potential scandal prosecution because Comey turned on McCabe and said that he never authorized any leaks. McCabe said Comey did authorize leaks. This is a trip down memory lane. You'll hear James Comey in a second how a typical government leak, this is interesting, turned into a three-way war between McCabe, Comey, and Trump. And then the ProPublica article talks about one of them is lying. The conclusion is inescapable if you closely examine the sworn testimony of two erstwhile FBI allies, James Comey and Andrew McCabe, about the leaking episode that led to McCabe's firing in March. After all, two diametrically opposed accounts can't both be correct. They went after McCabe for lying to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and potentially others. Now you have Catherine Herridge talking about exactly what John Solomon's talking about. There was a 2017 investigation, Tropic Vortex, into the leaks. We're now finding out that the leaks, although the Biden administration or loyalists within Trump's administration of the Democratic Party in his first term denied indictments, they ain't going to be denied with Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, and you have Andrew Bailey, and you have Dan Bongino at the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well. If you look down here, months after he refused to charge Hillary Clinton during the 2016 election for using a private server, had top secret intelligence on the server, nobody knows how. It was transferred. It was illegally transferred, obviously. Unauthorized server to transmit classified information. And then Director Comey's inner circle used personal email accounts to further a plan to make, quote, unauthorized disclosures to journalists. Newly classified memos reveal when investigators in a criminal probe codenamed Tropic Vortex sought permission in 2019 to gain access to those private emails, federal prosecutors turned them down. Gee, I wonder why. According to the memos recently uncovered by Kash Patel. This is huge. Okay, you will hear exactly why right now. Hit subscribe to this channel. Check this out.
And so that's why I understood him to be saying that what he wanted me to do was drop any investigation connected to Flynn's account of his conversations with the Russians.
Now, here's the question. You're big, you're strong. I know the Oval Office, and I know what happens to people when they walk in. There is a certain amount of intimidation. But why didn't you stop and say, Mr. President, this is wrong. I cannot discuss this with you?
It's a great question. Maybe if I were stronger, I would have. I was so stunned by the conversation that I just took it in. And the only thing I could think to say, because I was playing in my mind, because I was going to remember every word he said.
That's a lie under oath. It's intent to lie. It's perjury. He didn't tell Trump that anything that Trump was doing was wrong, because nothing Trump was doing was wrong during that private conversation where he leaked the information through a third party. So Comey leaked memos through a third party source to media. What took place was this was a hoax perpetuated or furthered by leaks of classified and unclassified information. These memos of a private conversation with the President of the United States or President-elect is obviously classified. There's no way it's not classified. But let's say the memos were unclassified. The leak is against the law, especially when 18 U.S. Code 371, when you're furthering this conspiracy, this hoax to set up and frame an innocent man. He didn't, you just heard him say, he didn't tell Trump during a private conversation that Trump was doing anything wrong. Flynn was set up, Michael Flynn, and I wrote in the Federalist that he should be pardoned, and eventually he was, essentially was. Michael Flynn was set up and framed. So was President Trump and everyone around him. Michael Flynn did absolutely nothing wrong speaking to a Russian ambassador as the incoming national security advisor. Absolutely nothing wrong, okay? What took place as Sessions was they forced Sessions to turn on, the Attorney General to turn on Michael Flynn. They set up and framed Michael Flynn with two agents that might have been also part of the email cover-up with Clinton. Lieutenant General Flynn did not know that he was being investigated, met with these people as they were furthering and conspiring to set up and frame Trump. He literally did nothing wrong, never lied to any agents. Even Comey stated that Flynn never lied to any agents. The issue here is that they were trying to set up and frame Trump. That's why Comey said they admitted right now he did not tell Trump that he did anything wrong, which is Feinstein said, well, why didn't you just tell him he was doing something wrong? Well, he wasn't. That's why Comey didn't say that Comey meeting with Trump, showing him the Steele dossier, pretending that this conversation about Flynn was the precursor, the impetus of this big investigation, was all part of the setup. That's why he never told Trump that you were doing something wrong. Listen to this.
I was playing in my mind, what should my response be? And that's why I very carefully chose the words. And look, I've seen the tweet about tapes. Lordy, I hope they're tapes. I remember saying, I agree he's a good guy, as a way of saying I'm not agreeing with what you just asked me to do. Again, maybe other people would be stronger in that circumstance, but that's how I conducted myself. I hope I'll never have another opportunity. Maybe if I did it again, I would do it better.
You described two phone calls that you received from President Trump. One.
Okay, and here's what this is all about. Okay, check this out. This is what this is all about.
But I sat there that morning and I could not see a door labeled no action here. I could see two doors and they were both actions. One was labeled speak, the other was labeled conceal. Because here's how I thought about it. I'm not trying to talk you into this, but I want you to know my thinking. Having repeatedly told this Congress, we are done and there's nothing there, there's no case there, there's no case there, to restart in a hugely significant way, potentially finding the emails that would reflect on her intent from the beginning and not speak about it would require an act of concealment, in my view. And so I stared at speak and conceal. Speak would be really bad. There's an election in 11 days. Lordy, that would be really bad. Concealing, in my view, would be catastrophic, not just to the FBI, but well beyond. And honestly, as between really bad and catastrophic, I said to my team, we've got to walk into the world of really bad. I've got to tell Congress that we're restarting this, not in some frivolous way, in a hugely significant way. And the team also told me, we cannot finish this work before the election. And then they worked night after night after night, and they found thousands of new emails. They found classified information on Anthony Weiner. Somehow, her emails are being forwarded to Anthony Weiner, including classified information by her assistant, Huma Abedin. And so they found thousands of new emails and then called me the Saturday night before the election and said, thanks to the wizardry of our technology.
Lordy, the wizardry. Classified emails from Huma Abedin's laptop, according to James Comey, were being forwarded to Anthony Weiner. If anyone made that up, it would be, oh my God, fact check, Snopes, fact check, false. Classified data was not being forwarded to Anthony Weiner. You just heard it from him. And that's what this is all about. That's why you'll probably have McCabe turn on Comey. Okay, because McCabe got the business end of Comey's lies. They went after McCabe, tried to prosecute McCabe. The issue here is that there were a whole bunch of leaks where you had unauthorized disclosure and unauthorized servers to transmit information, and Comey's a part of it. Hit subscribe. This is huge.